My senior showcase. So this this is my past. I went to Ventura Charter School for my elementary school years. Went to De Anza for middle school, just from 7th grade through 8th grade. And then I actually spent a month in Ventura High, but that was during COVID. And the system was really bad. I did not like it at all. And I was honestly like failing my classes. I was losing motivation. It was probably one of the worst years for me, educational wise. And that's when my mom showed me this school. I had never heard of ACE at all before. I was like, there's a school that's like, it has architecture and like actual like trades and stuff. So when my mom told me about that, I thought it was really cool, and I decided I would give it a try because I was kind of at my wit's end. And I don't know, I've been here all 4 years now. I am currently the ASB president and also the one whose voice you hear on the announcements every morning. I hope I'm not too loud or anything. For my future, I plan on going to Ventura College for the first 2 years, then transferring to a 4-year, but I'm still not sure where. I plan on majoring in industrial design, though plans may change depending on what I feel is my path. For my IB traits, I feel like Inquirer is my strongest and Balanced is my weakest. I say this because I really like asking questions, I really like learning new things. Sometimes I feel like the questions I ask are a little unnecessary, but it does help me with a lot of things that I'm unsure about. Balanced is my weakest for sure, and I know a lot of people struggle with this as well. There were a lot of things that I had to there were a lot more things that I had to do, especially this year, that I was not really ready for or prepared for. So it was a lot of juggling like responsibilities and other things that I had to do that I had to learn to balance, and I'm still learning to balance. PPS and language development. I studied Greek as my language, and there wasn't really any other reason for me choosing Greek other than the fact that I went to Greece over the summer before junior year. I really loved it there. It's a beautiful country, super hot though, definitely. The food's super good. But yeah, my favorite PPS skill was learning to write a proper resume and learning how to speak in front of a bunch of people. I hadn't done many like presentations before then, other than the "What I Want to Be When I Grow Up" presentation with Mr. Hattler. And I was still getting used to a lot of public speaking. I'm still a little shaky when I talk in front of people, but I don't know, it's a learning experience. Memorable PPS activities. Definitely the culinary activity and the storybook. I spent a lot of time on the storybook, and I'm glad that I was actually able to get it finished. And the culinary task, a lot of people like the cookies that I made, which I'm glad, because it was my first time making them. I unfortunately didn't get to enjoy much of the food there because there were, I don't remember what it was that we had to do for ASB, but it was still fun. I think the most interesting thing about Greece was that the appetizers are just as big as the main course, and this definitely caught me off guard because I would spend all of my time eating the main course, or the appetizer, only to find that the main course was just as large, and then I'd be like, wait, You're telling me this was not the main course? So, that's definitely something. My ace highlights. I have a couple because I cannot decide on one. So here's a list of a few. The blackout, which I have no pictures of, unfortunately. Halloween of last year. Conbear, the last couple Conbears. And D&D with David and Everett, Max, and Eris. Am I missing some people? Jacob, Josue, randomly. Gabe. I think that's about it, yeah. I'm sure there were a lot of other highlights that I would have liked to mention, but I couldn't think of them all off the top of my head. So for my service learning, there were a few projects that we tried to do that ended up not working out due to changes of staff and other things. So our first plan was to fix up the teacher's lounge, and we were also in the process going to fix up the lunch system because it was very messy and disorganized. But things changed after our previous lunch person left, and so that plan kind of went out the window. We had to find something else to do. So I was in a group with Jaden and Everett, and the next plan was to do a self-sustaining garden using recycled materials from the wooden pallets that we get with the construction materials. I ended up kind of straying from that group due to no reason in particular. And I ended up with working on a mural for the architecture pathway, which, Miss Nika, you were right, I did not finish it before this presentation. I think it improved the community because it's allowing the class of 24 and also future architecture classes to leave their mark, showing like their pathway that they were part of, and yeah, just something like that. I feel that this helped me grow as a person through me learning how to plan things properly and also not procrastinate, and also I kind of learned the feeling of giving back to the community and just being able to like leave something behind for people to either remember you by or for just to leave some sort of memory. So I think the biggest challenges for me were just balancing responsibilities and also my life, like my personal life, my school life, and balancing that with things that I had to do, both like academics and other things. I was not prepared for a lot of stuff, and I jumped into a lot of things head first without knowing if I was going to do okay in it. The teacher changes were also a bit of a struggle because there were a lot of things that we had to be focusing on that were a little hard to accomplish with inconsistencies in the people leading us. But I'm just glad that we all made it through. So there's that. The lesson that I will take with it from it as I grow, I'm always gonna know now to make room for the people in my life while also being able to do the things that I want to do and like the stuff I have to work on, so that neither get in the way of each other. So for my reflective question was, to what extent should endangered natural materials be used in furniture and home decor? Through this question, I learned a lot about all the different animal materials that are being used for furniture and like decorative like furnishings and also clothes. There's a lot that I could think of, but I also learned that there's a lot of corruption regarding the use of these materials, which is really unfortunate, especially considering most of these aren't really done sustainably. And the industry's like really a huge moneymaker, so it's kind of hard to prevent it from happening. And the best answer that I decided for this was that it's not ethical with how much money is being thrown into it and how much corruption there is, especially within governments who are like funding things behind the backs of others so that they can make more money for this. Even though it does make a lot of money for people who really need it, I still feel like it isn't worth the unsustainability. So, advice for my freshman self, don't hold yourself to standards that are out of your reach. I say this because I think I set the bar a little too high for myself, and I was reaching a little further than I thought that I was able to. I believed that I was able to do some things, and then found out later that I couldn't. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just because one person is able to do everything does not mean that I can as well. So, my thank yous. I already know I'm going to start crying, so.
The tissues are behind the computer.
I see. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank my mom and my family for always being there for me. Sorry. You guys are always pushing me to do my hardest. And you're always there to make me happy. And I don't know where I would be without you guys. I'd like to thank my cat. I don't have many photos of him in here, but I don't know. I wish he was here too, but he doesn't like being outside. I'd like to thank my friends. Sorry. All of you guys are the best. I really couldn't have asked for a better friend group. I got through all 4 years with you guys, basically, and I feel like I should have done more with all of you, because this might be the last time that I might see you guys, but I really hope I do stay friends with all of you. I'd like to thank Everett for always being there for me, pushing me to do my best, loving me for who I am. And just being there for me overall. And I'd like to thank my teachers. There's a long list of you guys on here. All of the pathway teachers, Mr. G, Mr. Hadler, Mr. McGuire, who I don't see in the crowd. You guys, I know I didn't have your guys' pathways for very long, but I still like saying hi to you every time that I see you in the halls. Mr. Myers, thank you. I know you weren't here for long, but you really had an impact on all of us. Thank you for letting us stay in your room all the time, and for dealing with us, because I know we can be loud sometimes. Mr. Lang, I know I only had your class for like 2 years or so, but I really love your passion for history and your ability to deal with students who don't want to be in your class. You made me actually like history a little bit. Miss Keller, where is she? There you are. I know you aren't a permanent teacher at our school, but I really liked when you were here for us as our long-term sub for math. I've always loved the amazement and like the passion that you have for math and all the other kinds of subjects. I hope to have your same youthful energy when I'm older. I'd like to thank Dr. Brown and Miss Knight. I know I never had your class, either of you, but I don't know. You guys are both really sweet. I love your guys' energy. Dr. Brown, I honestly feel like you didn't make me do enough for what I was doing. I know a lot of people say that you always make them work hard, but Miss Centeno, I don't know where she is right now. Well, I'd like to thank her for being awesome. She came in like midway through the year and really, she really like helped us out, especially considering we were kind of in a weird spot with all the teachers and stuff. Her class is always really fun. I don't think I would have stayed in it if it weren't for her and also our table group. I'd like to thank Miss Garcia and Miss Maria. Miss Maria's in the office right now, but Miss Garcia, thank you for helping me out with college and everything. I kind of wish I took more advantage of you being there, because I feel like I didn't appreciate high school counselors as much before. But thank you for helping me with everything. Thank you for I don't know, for everything really. But thank you for doing your job, basically. And Miss Nika. I know I didn't have you for sophomore year, which is kind of like one of the most important years, but freshman and junior and senior year, you were always like my favorite pathway teacher. Sorry. I remember the first time I saw you in a Zoom classroom, I actually thought that you were really strict. And I was a little scared to be in your class, but I don't know, here I am now. I saved you for last because I knew I was going to cry a lot during this part. Thank you. You're the best. I know a lot of people say this, but you really are like a... You really are like a second mom to all of us. Thank you for always being so caring. And just always being a wonderful teacher. I hope to stay in touch with you even after. I hope to stay in touch with you even after I've graduated. Anyways, that concludes my presentation. Thank you.